Hi, in this video I'm looking at doing this integral of 3x over x minus 1 times x minus 2 with respect to x. Now this question is quite complex to do as an integral unless you deal with it as a partial fraction. Then it becomes very easy because I can split this double denominator down the middle as partial fractions. So I'm going to look at doing that first. So I'm going to come over this side here and I'm going to have a look at dealing with this fraction. 3x over x minus 1, x minus 2. So I'm going to assume that I can rewrite this as a sum of fractions equal to the number of denominators I've got. So I've got a times x minus 1 and add on b times x minus 2. So I don't know what the numerators of my fraction is. I'm just going to try and work them out. So to do that, I'm going to perform this addition because our starting fraction was added together. So I'm going to have a times by x minus 2 plus b times by x minus 1 all over x minus 1, x minus 2. And so now I'm going to open up both the fractions that are on my numerator. So I'm going to have a times x minus of 2a, because I've got a times negative 2, so minus of 2a. And then I've got b times x, so I'm going to have plus b times x, minus of b, because I've got b times negative 1. So I'm going to have minus of b. And this is still over x minus 1 times x minus 2. So I've got 3x over x minus 1, x minus 2, being the same as ax take 2a plus bx take b all over x minus 1, x minus 2. So now I can focus on the numerators. So if I look at my numerator, I've got 3 times x, so I want to compare all the coefficients of x. So I've got a plus bx is the same as 3. So that means that I've got 3 is a plus b. And I've got a plus 0 here because I've got no constant. But over here, I've got these two constant terms, negative 2a, take b. So I've got 0, I've also got 0 is negative 2a, take b. So I've got these two simultaneous equations that I need to sort out for a and b. And that will tell me what my sum of two fractions will be. So if I call this equation 1 and I call this equation 2, I can eliminate the b variable because they both share a coefficient of 1 by adding these two together. So if I do equation 1 plus equation 2, so that means I'm going to have 3 equals a plus b, adding on negative 0 equals negative 2a take b. So 3 plus 0 is going to be 3. A plus negative 2a, so a take 2a is going to be negative 1a, so negative a. And then b plus negative b, or b take b, is going to be plus 0. So then multiply by negative 1, and we have that a equals negative 3 as one of my numbers. So then I need to find the other number, so I'm going to sub a equals negative 3 into one of my other equations, and I'm going to do my first one because it's got smaller numbers. So I'm going to sub into equation 1. So that means I've got 3 equals negative 3 plus b. And if I add 3 to both sides, that gives me that b is going to be equal to 6. So I've got a equals negative 3, and b equals 6 as my two values for a and b up here. So now I can go back to my original integral, because I can rewrite this now as the integral of a over x minus 1, but I've got negative 3. So I can have negative 3 over x minus 1. And adding to that, I've got b over x minus 2, but b is 6. So I can add on 6 over x minus 2 with respect to x. So now I can sort out these two integrals and separate them out, because I got the sum of two individual terms. So I can have the integral of 6 over x minus 2 dx, take away the integral of 3 over x minus 1 dx. I've just taken that negative out the front. I can take those constants out the front, so I've got 6 times the integral of 1 over x minus 2 dx, minus 3 outside the integral of 1 over x minus 1 dx. And now I can do these two integrals, and these are both 1 over a function. So I'm going to have natural logs. So I'm going to have 6 times the natural log of the absolute value of x minus 2 multiplied by the derivative of that, which is nothing, minus 3 the natural log of x minus 1. And of course we got to have plus c. So that's our answer. Our integral of 3x over x minus 1 times x minus 2 dx is 6 times the natural log of x take 2, take 3 times the natural log of x minus 1 plus c. And we got there by using partial fractions and separating this single fraction into the sum of two fractions. We just got to work out those numerators, putting them in. Well, that gives us two separate integrals to work out, but because they're 1 overs, that gives us natural logs.